What if you had only 60 minutes to share your message, your truth, and your legacy with the world? That is the main question in the Final Chance podcast. I am your host, Stephanie Claus, and I'm a purpose activator. I have met some incredible people throughout my life, and I love for you to get to know them too and to be inspired by who they are and what they have to say. Time is ticking, so let's go. Welcome to another episode of the Final Chance podcast. And today I'm sitting here with another beautiful being that I love to introduce you to. And as always, I've got nothing prepared, so I'm just staring at my screen, looking into her eyes, kinda. You know how that goes, right? In this online world. And just seeing what gets sparked in me. But this is a woman that feels so freaking close to me. Like, it is kind of crazy that we have met just a few times, and yet in my heart and in my being, it's like I know her so well that I like to tell myself that there are many more future memories that we will encounter in this lifetime. And she brings out this playfulness in me. Like, I just feel playful when I connect to her. And at the same time, I wanted to invite her because she is just one potent being. And lately, I've seen her create these extremely potent containers for other people to come into that are freaking life-changing. And I'm so excited to talk to her right now because she's been in darkness for, I don't even know the amount of days, whether it's 10, I don't know, 10 days.
40
she's been
silence. But 10 in darkness.
days in darkness. And I feel like she's brand new. I don't even know who's sitting in front of me. So I'm excited to talk to her and give her one final chance to share who she is right now. So I want to welcome to the podcast, Kelly Broderick.
Thank you. Hey, Stephanie.
Hi, so good to see you. And I just checked in with her. She actually, just like my other guests, has no clue what she's about to get into. So I want to welcome you, Kelly, to your final chance. And basically the idea behind this is if you have 60 minutes left, and if this was the last conversation that you would ever have, what would be the message you would like to share to humanity, your loved ones, whatever? And you don't have to think about that yet. You don't have to come prepared. I will guide you through some questions. We'll go on a little journey and it will all unfold and we will see what wants to be shared. But time is ticking.
Okay, beautiful.
Right now. And for those listening, you might hear some background noise from Guatemala and construction in Guatemala, but just take it. It's just what it is. That's life.
Yeah, this is just life. It's
exactly.
Truly, yeah.
So I'm going to invite you to just close your eyes for a moment with me as we drop in and as we connect to your final chance. Feel free to take a deep breath or whatever you want to do to drop in right now. And then I want you to imagine that your final hour has come. As if right now your higher self, your intuition tells you just like, okay, Kelly, it's done. You will die in an hour. The life as Kelly, as your human form is about to end. And so, well, it's kind of also already set up. It's not that you can go and choose whatever you want to do in this hour. You get a chance to basically review your life as Kelly and see what is sparked to share with the world through this podcast. And so the first thing I want to know from you, if you just imagine this, that, okay, probably now 58 minutes left. Like, how does it feel? What does it bring up in you to imagine that this would be and is your final chance?
That's beautiful. Actually, I feel so much gratitude and so much love. I feel like I've had such an amazing life. Of course, it hasn't been easy, but it also hasn't been terrible. I think it's been so wonderful. And I feel just so thankful for the opportunity to have been alive and to celebrate life in this way. Yeah, it's been really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
There was just someone who told me, who listened to the first episode, and she was like, my other friend was also grateful. Let's say it was the first thing of like, and most people actually that I've talked to have actually a sense of completion and fulfillment and gratitude. And she was like, I don't understand. Why are they not feeling scared? Like, so again, I just know that for some people, it's a stretch to think that death is not something that's scary, but it's like, I can feel it when you speak to just this big sense of love and gratitude that I can see you being okay if it is time to go.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
Cool. So, well, we're getting you ready for this. So now I
Cool.
want you to imagine that we're kind of entering that in-between space where you're still alive for a little longer, and yet we really get a chance to zoom out. And I always like to imagine that together we rise on these clouds as if we're souls or having a little chit-chat here, and we get to really zoom out and look with the eye of an eagle to the life that you, as Kelly, have been living. So you really get that overview. You get to look back. And then I love for you to look at your life and feel into what are the treasures that your soul came to pick up here on earth during this lifetime? Or what are some of the themes that you really have been playing with?
That's a beautiful question. I feel like I've had a lot of very big, amazing things happen in my life. But I feel like the things that I deeply treasure are the little things that have happened. Like that moment of closeness with a friend, or being like super cozy in bed and just feeling really, really good. I actually feel like the spectrum of feelings and experiences and like the variety in that is something that my soul really, really has loved. But the treasures, yeah, the treasures are the little moments. The treasures are the connections with other people. The treasures are just when you just go for something and you go all in, and you get a chance to learn faith, you get a chance to learn courage, you get a chance to actually, even though you know inside it's going to work out, it's going to manifest, it's going to come true. But that actual experience of going through that process of getting to be really courageous and allow it to happen, that's also a really, really fun and beautiful treasure. Yeah.
Nice. Still staying with the question, still staying on our cloud, looking from that soul's perspective to your life. I do love for you to share a little bit, or whatever is sparked around more specifically your life's journey, of like what you have been through on this human journey that makes your life potentially different than other people's lives. So just your unique journey and some of the unique experiences that you've had that made you into who you have become today.
Okay. I feel it started pretty young with the opportunity to work with horses and people who my mom worked with a horse riding holiday, and I would go and help her, and we would guide people from one side of Connemara, which is this place in Ireland, to the other over like 6 days, riding like 8 hours a day.
By the way,
and there were so many.
Sorry, I have to interrupt you. Is that the place of the song, like this French song of the Connemara, where they? Do you know that?
No.
There's this. Is it a French song or? Yeah, it's a French song, and it's called Connemara. And then they also in my country, which is Belgium, we on a wedding we take these napkins, let's say, and we like wave them. Da, 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 da. I just had to think of that. It's like, is that the place? It really exists? Probably is. I'm gonna look it up. But anyway, sorry for interrupting. Continue.
I don't know the song, but yeah, it's probably the same place. And I feel like animals taught me a lot because they are very powerful mirrors. And I learned at a very young age the effect of my mind and my thoughts, because my horses were like telepathic and you could communicate with them that way. And also learned a lot about people when people are experiencing fear or connection, and how to guide them. So I feel like that having that learning experience really young set me up really well to have a really good way of perceiving the world and perceiving people in the world, and kind of understanding the truth of reality or where people are at. And then I think one of the biggest things that really impacted who I was leaving what's called secondary school in Ireland, but most places in the world call it high school. Leaving high school, secondary school at 18, and like going straight into the world and having to completely find my way, and having no like cushion between schooling where teachers tell you what to do. And if you're really good in school, you just like have this illusion that you're gonna be guaranteed an easy life, which is what I had.
Oh, okay.
Because I was really smart and I was like top in everything, so I thought it was gonna be easy. And then being like 18 and being at like the very bottom of the food chain, yet with this knowing like, okay, I'm really not here to live a normal life. Like, I'm not here to follow that path. This whole idea that we get one job and do this and serve society in this way, like all of this stuff just doesn't feel true, doesn't feel nice. So then being in that place at 18, and it's just like, I felt like I knew very clearly that I was in existence on another plane, yet this human version of me had a veil, and I was so angry at the veil And I knew like that reality is meant to be so different from how it is. So just like having that battle and that kind of fight and learning like this level of like determination and perseverance to find out the truth, to find freedom, to find my purpose. I think, yeah, just getting chucked into the world really, really, really made me, just chucked off the deep end. I feel like those are very pivotal experiences. And actually, I'm closing. That was like maybe an 8 or a 9 year cycle of just exploring and going deeper into myself and traveling and going into a lot of different teachings, a lot of different practices, learning from a lot of different mentors and learning about myself, deprogramming, deconditioning, like really burning out the old paradigm from inside me. And then now I feel like that chapter is really over. And I just finished it with this 40 days of silence, which felt like a really cool portal and really very symbolic time to do it, which I didn't plan, but it ended up being that way. Yeah.
There's 2 questions popping up, but I'm first going to go back. I'd love for you to share a bit more about what happened with, you spoke to the anger for the fact of having the veil and like at 18 being angry because you knew you were more than what's here. So how did what happened to that?
What happened with that anger?
Because I don't perceive you to be in that same place, right, anymore. So like what happened with that? Or was it just your quest for truth and freedom that brought you to the, I'll call it, answers you may have been seeking?
I feel that the anger and the frustration acted as a fuel to push me along in my journey, but they also acted as just an initiation into what it is like to be a being that feels a lot and moves a lot of energy through them. I feel like, yes, emotions are caused by something in our reality, but generally they're happening to have that alchemical reaction inside of us. And that is what creates the space for a greater vibration to come through. So I feel like that was all just part of this process for me of opening up more.
Cool. Tell me, you were just speaking also too while you are completing this 9-year cycle. And you just completed it. Is it too early to already ask the chapter that's opening, or what do you feel you're stepping into? Even though you got only 15 minutes for the chapter left, but what do you feel this new chapter then is about?
Well, it's not so much a new chapter completely as it is a bringing together of all the pieces and the things that had been coming together in the other chapter. And definitely feels like I have, after a period of fasting, which is not like fasting from food, but fasting from expression, fasting from informational input, fasting from communication with other people and the energetics of the old life and everything. After this period of fasting, it's like all of my faculties have, I don't know if they have changed or if they have restored or if they have upgraded, but they're different now. So it's kind of like a new system, almost a new operating system. So I feel like I'm just navigating reality from a different operating system. And that in itself is the journey. I can talk a lot about like what I feel like creating, what I feel like manifesting. But I feel like the real goal, the real beauty is learning how to continue to hold a vibration that's closer to our native state in a reality where what is physically manifested is at a contrast to our native state. This is kind of the challenge for humanity right now, right? So those of us who are remembering what we are and remembering why we're here, what we're being invited into doing is to like broadcasting that and radiating that. But the challenge is everything that says differently from that, because we still hooked into living from materiality and the physical manifestations of the past. So for me, it's definitely about this new way of rendering myself into reality in a more seamless way and kind of living more from that state of vision and the beyond. And allowing the world to mold around that as opposed to molding myself around the world. Anyway, that's a pretty ethereal answer to your question. But apart from that, I feel the very simplest thing that I feel around like what's next for me is that I feel such a profound level of liberation and just complete liberation. And I feel like when you really get to that point and you just know beyond a shadow of a doubt, like, yes, you've been free, you've been searching for freedom, but there's a stage where you really just know on every level, like, I am so liberated. You just feel so liberated. Then you just feel like, well, the only other thing to do is to go about life and support the liberation of everyone else. Like, it's that simple. And it's very cliche, but it's like sometimes the most cliche things are the best things. I feel like it's all about love. An avocado just fell on my roof.
Oh, I was like, I literally felt like something was falling down here too.
Yeah, there was an avocado tree above my cabana and it like keeps dropping avocados on my roof.
Good boss. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
You're saying the most cliche thing, so love. The answer is love.
What did you just say?
Well, you just said the cliches are often pointing to something that's maybe true. And you said the cliche answer, it was related to love. Love is the answer?
Yeah, love is very much not only is it the answer, but really it's the only true response. And a lot of us think that we're too enlightened or too good or too advanced for something that's like such a basic lesson. But the biggest growth really always lies in where you can allow and open yourself up to more love. And I really feel that when you are truly either moving in the direction of liberated or really feeling liberated is when you can offer that same amount of like unconditional love to everyone, even if there's someone that annoys you or you're someone in your family or someone on the street. If you can really experience that same expansiveness of love with all beings, and you just feel so liberated. It's so beautiful. And I feel like love is the bridge, love is the response, love is the growth area. And I do know that many people who hear this or who feel that maybe even will like roll their eyes because it's just like, okay, yet another person that's just like on the love train. But it truly is what we need to really, really recognize. And I feel like everyone's heart can connect to that and can feel it regardless of what their mind wants to say, because the mind is going to be like, no, because the mind will die to that love, right? Love is really, truly such a transcendental force. And love is it.
I love it. I feel like we're already moving into what you want to share with the world and what you want people to know and all of that, but we're just rolling with this. So I want to assume that people just hear what you said, and on one hand, they may be like, yeah, sure, love is the answer, blah, blah, blah. And at the same time, they feel the truth in this. And then I would also say, as you speak, I feel like love is often misunderstood. Like in these love is these cookie cutter ways, or love is accepting everything. Because unconditional love is like love, love, love. So because I find this juicy and I feel like you've been gathering some more information about what love is, anything more you want to say to someone who's like willing to open to loving more, yet not in a cookie cutter way? What do you want to speak to? What do you want to share? What do you want me and others to know?
Okay, yes. I'm so happy you asked me that. So, okay, now this is the thing that's just so epic. Is like we think that love is basic. Love is all about just going into like a cuddle puddle and being all accepting of things and just being in this almost this state that isn't strong, that's like soft and squishy and passive and whatever, and just like all allowing of everything. If you truly connect to the true energy of love and the force that it is, love is very alchemizing and it takes many, many, many forms. So sometimes the highest level of love can actually be some very cutthroat, blunt truth that someone needs to receive as medicine for them to open up to what they really are. I mean, I can be really bossy. I'm even more bossy now and finished my 40 days of silence. And I'm unapologetic about it because sometimes it's just so clear to me where someone is fooling themselves or like holding themselves back or just making their lives more miserable than they need to. And that is a level of love that I had to grow into, not being like, yeah, I know that's so terrible. And you kind of like propagating their victim state. But if you're allowing through a greater level of love, you're able to serve something much higher. So I would say that, like you said, we need to expand our understanding of love and most importantly, recognize that there's a lot of nuance in it. And love is a very powerful teacher to teach you how to show up in the fullest way and how to serve the highest. And it will look very different in certain ways. I'm sure everyone's been through a really painful breakup. And if you were the one that had to do the breaking up because you sensed a new alignment, that is one of the most hardest expressions of love you will have to take for that person that you're with, to break their heart for the greater good. So that's just like one example of how love isn't always just totally reciprocating and looking like traditional loving.
I'm so happy you speak to this. It's such deep medicinal college too. Like, it's so good because I do find myself more inclined to tell people that love can be fiery, just like you were saying, that love can be like, fuck no.
Yeah.
But you also shared it in such a beautiful and potent way. And it brought up another question. Like, again, like I had some questions for you about your life, but it feels like it's just more juicy to extract the wisdom that you've gathered. Now that we can, before you die. I like also to be dramatic if you did not know that yet. So
I'm total drama queen. Bring it on, please.
I know that about you. So
why do you think I'm wearing a hat?
I thought it was just fashion, but okay. The question it brought up was, I was imagining someone who has been heartbroken, and you know, there's all this defense around their heart, and this all sounds nice, and yeah, they may get now that love is the answer, but the heart feels so vulnerable and tender, and it feels so scary to open. So what would you like to say to those tender hearts?
To fall deep in love with themselves and to really devote themselves to their own relationship with themselves, and to continually just meet yourself with that love. You don't need to go out and have another relationship or connection. And sometimes when you are in these states of extreme pain or hurt, you're just like, I don't know what the fuck to do. It's literally like you're just freaking out. But I want to say is that you do know what to do, but you just have to listen. This applies for everything, not just heartbreak. It literally applies for every single thing. You actually always know. You just block yourself from knowing until the time is right, or you block yourself from knowing by thinking you don't know, whatever. But you have all the answers. You're being continuously guided moment by moment, second by second. And you just have to have the patience and the dedication to really keeping that ear to your heart and listening and feeling, and you'll be guided. There's a different way of working with your heart, working with your energy, working with your human being that every person will have. We didn't come here to have a one size fits all approach. Everyone has their own guidance that's like very specific and nuanced and detailed. So I'd say listen and love yourself.
I'm gonna bring it back to, anything else you want to share?
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to comment on the noise. You're super in tune, Stephanie. I wanted to say that when I was on retreat, there were noises in different places. And I was like kind of annoyed about this. And what I realized is that we have whatever is always like the best thing for us. We have such idealistic tendencies towards perfection. And it really is the fight against what is that makes it hard. Like if I was getting really, really bothered by, sounds like they're cutting down a tree outside my door, which I'm pretty sure they are. I don't know what it is, but if I was getting bothered by this, that would be creating the pain. There's always a resistance to what is that is the issue. And when you just allow what is, you're able to just work with it. And it's very interesting because I'm able to notice my concentration and my meditative state very powerfully right now because of this noise, because it offers the contrast. It offers you the capability to really know through contrast. So I do feel that this life is going to be a dance with distractions or with noise or with things that challenge you in your brain, and learning to work with them and recognizing how they're working for you is a really cool thing to tune into.
Love that. Yeah, so for anyone being distracted or irritated by the fact that you may hear these weird microphone sounds sometimes, or too loud in your ear, or you hear the construction over there, like, take what you just said.
Or the rooster. I'm in a Taoist monastery, and the neighbor's rooster got into the garden here and they can't catch it, so now lives here. So yeah. So when I arrived, they were like, if you could catch the rooster, that would be really great. I'm like, okay, I'll try. Yeah, so you might hear a rooster a lot. I haven't tried yet, no, but I might later.
Yeah, and at the same time, what I found is just these things that can seem like distraction, whether it's a construction or the avocado falling, that when I am in tune with the timing of these things, it just blows my mind. I remember one time that was in Costa Rica, and we were doing this, like, some kind of clearing work, and we were like, basically we're cutting away things that were not working for us. It was together with a friend. And this whole day they were like cutting off branches of a tree. And they just kept on doing it the whole time. We're like, why are they here, like doing it right in front of us? Like, it just didn't make sense why it was so close. And like, it was like, are these trees gonna fall on us? And then we were like, okay, what is happening? Oh, because we moved places. And now in the second place, they were also cutting off the branches of this tree. And we were like, what's happening here? And then we tuned into it. And it was just such a reflection of what we were doing and coming back to our own roots and just the essence of what we're standing for or something, and just cutting away all distractions. So same thing with the avocado falling at the time when I felt like you were speaking a truth bomb. There's like a truth bomb falling on your roof. So I just like to play with these things and checking, okay, why is this rooster making it sound right now? What did I just say? And I just find there's so much magic that I can extract from it. I might just be all making it up, but I'm having a lot of fun with like using those distractions in my favor.
Cool. I love that.
Anyway, this is not about me. This is your final hour. So I want to go back to your life's journey and imagine us again on our cloud, our souls chit-chatting. I want you to imagine that if this is your final chance and your final hour and your time has literally come, then even if your mind may not get it, and even if you may feel like, yeah, but I got a new chapter starting, there's still so much I want to create and do and experience, I want you to imagine that it means that if you die today, that it is because it was, let's say, mission complete. Graduation, soul is done. You've done it all, experienced it all. You experienced what you came here for. And then from that angle, can you see, check, share, what do you feel your life has been about?
Wow, I never expected this answer to come, but
I love those answers.
I feel like my life has been about nurturing life in all of its forms. So whether that life is the personality or expression of other people or their potential, or even just my own self and the way that life wanted to live through me, because we are in co-creation with life. Like, it's just wanting to live through us. And everything that I've been doing has been nurturing the way that life wants to be lived, more and more and more. So I feel like that's what my life has been about. It's been about opening up what it means to really live, and nurturing that, living by the truth of what we are, living by the true opportunity that we have to live by. Like, we have such crazy opportunity. I'm not just talking about like whatever, like business opportunities or like traditional ways you would view that word, like the opportunity to be in embodied form and to express your soul and to experience more of a multidimensional reality here on this physical plane is a huge opportunity. Like, it's really, really huge. So I feel like my life has been about capitalizing on that opportunity and learning about it and nurturing it.
Mm-hmm. Can you speak more to what you feel that opportunity is for?
It's about learning. Yeah, it's about exploration. Like, it's just a total divine dance and an exploration. And then it's about celebration as well. Yeah, and I mean, I can say all these like fancy things that it's all about like learning to evolve more into your soul and like become more of a cosmic embodiment and all this stuff. But like, really, it's very simply like an exploration. It's a game. We are the ones playing. We are the ones that invented the game. We are the ones that made the rule. We are the ones that generate all the other players. We're the ones that generate our own mind to play against us, to make us better at being ourselves. Like, we're crazy. If you think about, if you really want to get your life and you want to play the game better, think about it from the perspective of, I am the ultimate strategist who set this up. What would be my strategy? How would I have set this up? How is it set up? Okay, now I need to outplay myself, like out strategize the master strategizer of my life. That's how you got to play. To be one step ahead of yourself, who is planning that you're going to do that anyway. So they already know.
Exactly.
Yeah. It is the ultimate game. Like, really, 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 truly, this is the ultimate game.
Another curiosity that just came up, and I'm like, damn, why did I not ask this to the other people yet? But I'm gonna ask you. I'm curious, if this is your last chance and you leave this Kelly form, would you be interested to coming back to Earth? You leave this airplane, 3D, this physical reality. do you feel kind of complete with it and you're like, okay, I experienced it all? Or is there a desire that if you would get another chance at playing the game here, that you would like to come back?
Oh, I would totally love to come back. Yeah. I really love the game. Why else am I here? I'm here for the love of the game. That's why I'm here. Do I get to come back as Kelly? Was that
No, you
like
can't.
after the hour? Oh,
Might be in 200 years, whatever. I don't know when, where, what, but it would not be as yourself.
okay. Fair enough. Well, yeah, I'm totally down to come back.
Okay,
I'll
cool.
make an even better avatar next time. But yeah.
Cool. Okay, another question I want to throw at you because time keeps on ticking.
Let's see what. Oh, 18 minutes left. Okay.
So what I see sometimes is that people become, let's say, only famous, I'll call it, or like known after their death. So I want you to imagine that in 100 years, people remember Kelly Broderick. And if you tune into that, and I'm being very light with it and playful with it, but actually it's also a serious question, but I want you to imagine that what is it that you would want to be remembered for? Like, what is it that you want to leave? And it's not so much, of course, about your personality, but more like, they remember you from something that you left behind, basically.
Okay. I want to be remembered for the kimonos I wear. Oh gosh. And in the context of, I don't know, because, okay, let me feel into this. I want to leave behind a really beautiful space in Ireland that is like a sanctuary. And I want to be known for that, like offering the space for people to really know themselves, for people to experience their own freedom. And I feel like, yeah, it would be really cool to be known as someone who was really just pioneering this way of being free and this way of being actually embodied here as an energetic spiritual being. I feel like that's the thing we're learning now, is how to really how to maintain our spiritual integrity here in embodied form. That's something that I feel I would love to be known for, because we get that we're spiritual, we're awake, but what we're lacking is like full integrity the whole way through in all areas of our life, in all areas of our existence. So yeah, maybe bringing in a new era of spiritual integrity, what it means to be embodied in form.
Beautiful. I love it. I both love the sanctuary. Feels like you're going to need a bit more time than those 15 minutes. The sanctuary and the spiritual integrity. Beautiful. Yeah. Cool. So as time is ticking away, I want you to, and you've been already sharing a lot of potent wisdom, I'll call it, but as time is ticking away, I want you to tune in and feel, if this is your final chance, what is the message you want to leave to humanity at this point in time where the collective is at, where spiritual community is at, whoever you want to speak to? What's the message you want to leave behind?
I just want to say, stop, like really stop in your tracks, in your mind, stop in this moment, like really stop and let yourself feel deeper. And as you allow yourself to feel deeper, you are able to connect in with what your soul really is. And you're able to receive the information and the wisdom and the beauty that your unique soul is. When we don't stop, we are operating from our minds, we're operating from our memory, from our conditioning, and it's such a tiny fragment of what we are. So in this place of like stopping and connecting deeply, I just want you to really ask yourself if you really recognize what your true power is. And if you just sit with that and connect to that understanding, and you won't even connect to it fully because it's of such magnitude that it's like a portal that's continuously evolving in your lifetime. But if you just really take time to reconnect into that knowing and that recognition of your power, all other things begin to fade away, things that don't matter, things that are insignificant, things that are blocking your heart, things that are making you broadcast lower frequencies, that are anchoring you into realities that just do not serve you. So from that place, I would say that it's really important to get seriously serious. And you can still play, but get seriously serious about getting into alignment with your truth and your power. This is like the number one thing. Like we are all to some degree or not, but on a collective level, it's a very vast degree of difference from like our true alignment and like where we're actually currently calibrated. And if you have that kind of conversation with yourself, like getting really, really, really real about like where you're not in alignment with your truth, everything just starts to kind of click into place. So if I would love humanity to know anything, it would be that, like, yeah, just stop, connect deeper, feel your power, like allow it to channel through. And then, yeah, get really real, get really honest, get truly, truly honest about, yeah, where you can move into greater alignment, which is greater spiritual integrity, basically.
Even though this kind of was your final message, it's actually sparked another question that I cannot not speak to. So, again, message for humanity, but can you speak to what you know to be possible for humanity, for a collective? So, can you speak to the possibility that you've known, that you see, that you hold? Like,
Yeah.
as in, like something like through spiritual integrity. So, what are we aspiring for in a way?
Well, the thing that I think is most important to speak to here is it's not about exactly what I see as being possible, but whatever anyone who is listening or like anyone who's not listening, anyways, just anyone who feels a potential or an excitement or like a, oh my God, I would love if that was a reality, if that was possible. To know that not only does that hold very potent potential to come true, because if you're able to start to perceive it, it's already close. But what is truly possible is even beyond what you currently think is possible. It's like already way beyond it. So possibility is something that cannot be put into a box. There is no ceiling to it. I know there's no ceiling. I really know there's literally no ceiling. And as you invite more possibility in and you start to live that, then the possibility on the possibility scale, kind of like the Richter scale for earthquakes, the scale just like gets more and more, it just expands more. Now, if we were to talk about this in like manifested terms, not because it's the ultimate truth, but because it's good to start to give thought to some of these ideas. But I see that it's possible for everyone to feel in complete harmony and love and unity with themselves, first of all. That is like, I feel like the first big gap. It's not about unity with others. It's feeling that love and harmony and unity and balance within themselves. And then with others and with the natural world. And then I feel that it's possible and it's going to be probable. It already is to some degree a reality for a lot of people where you're able to completely live and exist just by expression of your highest gifts and your genius and what's like the most true reflection of your soul. Yeah, it's really just a reality where we're all really happy. We're all really loving. We're all celebrating life a lot. And life is more about thriving and celebration and learning and growing and loving, as opposed to survival and rebellion and fighting and resistance and XYZ difficult things that you face in your everyday reality. I feel like it could just be one big continuous party. Yeah, just really fun.
Beautiful. So, as your time is coming almost to an end, and of course, you're this multidimensional being, but what I love to know and what I love you to tune into is what do you want to say to yourself as you are about to move into this death process, let's say? But let's say, what does your soul, higher self, want to say to Kelly who's gonna transition?
Good job. You rock. I love you so much. And yeah, see you on the other side. Sayonara, bitch. Sorry, my soul is quite irreverent in a lot of ways.
I love it. I feel like someone needs to hear this. I assume someone needs to hear the fucking lightness of this. I'm gonna throw in now the other question I was about to ask, which is again actually going back to a message you want to leave behind, but this time it's this. What is one thing that you want every child on earth to know? So if there's one thing that you could speak right now, and it would be something that every child who's now living on earth, they would know it, remember it for the rest of their lifetime. They would realize it. They would just never, ever forget it. What is the one thing that you want to infuse every child with?
You are truly welcome in all of your ways, no matter how you show up. Just that you're welcome, basically. Welcome to be yourself. And obviously that you're so loved immeasurably and beyond what you can comprehend. But I think really recognizing that you're welcome to be yourself as a child is something that really supports you to transition into being that as an adult. Yeah, that's a beautiful question.
I'm just now imagining and wishing that every child on earth may feel it, like right now.
Yeah. Aww.
Beautiful. I'm going to give you one final chance. Any final words as Kelly B?
Just take it easy, everyone. Like, have fun, celebrate,
party.
Yeah, dance, tell that person that you love them, open up, allow yourself to be the freaky thing that you really are, and just relax. You know, this is pretty straightforward.
Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I like it.
Yeah.
Those were the final ones. Peace out with that.
Okay, let me just feel into if there's anything else there. I just think that life is meant to be effortless and that we just need to allow it to be effortless and allow it to be straightforward, allow it to be simple, allow it to be beautiful. Yeah, let it be good. Because it is good. Like, it's so great. And I think it would be really great if everyone could just stop pretending that they're not a big deal. Stop pretending that you're not epic. Just stop pretending all that shit. It's just boring. Yeah, stop pretending.
So grateful for your final chance. Well, I will want to invite you to one final time. Close your eyes with me if that feels good.
Okay, let's do this.
Now I want you to imagine that as we've had this talk, your final hour, your final chance has passed, and you can imagine you're making it into this transition time. You can imagine, just because I like it, we were on this cloud, that you're now making it to heaven's door, whatever that looks like. And as you are about to end, or this life is about to end, there is something that calls you. There is something that pulls you back. A heartstring is pulled. And of course, you realize that this was one big joke and that it's not yet your time. So you now have the chance of going back, of coming back. Imagining that you have one final chance to live your life as Kelly. You get another chance to party. What is it that you want for your life? Is there anything else you want to experience, live, realize, create in order to fully feel fulfilled and complete the day you really die? Or what do you feel called into?
Oh, of course, there are lots of things that I'm going to create and I want to express and share. But the thing that I would really love to share is that feeling of perfection, like when you just really feel within yourself just how perfect everything is, like just how perfect all of reality is. And you just know that everything is a majestic creation. I would love to share that feeling of knowing you're perfect, the feeling of knowing that you're a perfect creation, magnificent creation. This is what I see when I look around at people and just see like how they're so perfectly themselves and they're such magnificent creatures, but that's not recognized all the time when we look at ourselves or others. And yeah, I would love to share that feeling, actually.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Anything else that sparked in your true final chance of living this life? Or
No, because when you feel that perfection and that wholeness and the unity with it, it's just like nothing else really truly matters. Although it does matter, like it doesn't matter if it doesn't ultimately matter because we do it for the fun of it anyways. But yeah, I would say it's so important to feel good, to share the beautiful things in life and to really just go for it. Like really go for it. Like let yourself live. Let yourself be lived. Let yourself celebrate that you're alive. Just go for it, basically.
nice. Well, with that final question, your final chance has completed. And I'm celebrating right now. You're still alive. I'm pretty sure you will
Yay!
still live on. And I'm super excited for all the things that you will still create. I'm also very excited for anyone, whether it's listening through this podcast, of course, or not, for anyone who will enter your field and your energy and everything you're going to create, and just the ways you will liberate people, the way you will open people to more love, the way you will be an embodiment of spiritual integrity, and how that's just gonna ripple out. I feel very, what do I feel? I feel very joyful for knowing you. And I was literally, I always have this feeling during these podcasts where I look at the screen or to the person in front of me and I'm like, just so enjoying, feeling so blessed that out of the billions of creatures walking on earth, that I get to know you, and that somehow we popped into each other's reality. And it's just like, look at who's in front of me. And so I'm so happy to have had this exchange as well, to receive your potent medicine. And I look forward to enjoying life with you in new and different ways in our shared future, however that looks like. Thank you so much for being here on the podcast.
Thank you, Stephanie. This is super fun. Adios.
Thank you for listening all the way to the end of this conversation and Kelly's final chance. If you loved it, please share your love on social media and follow this podcast on Spotify or YouTube. If you want to know what Kelly is up to next and what she's creating, make sure to follow her stories on Instagram or Facebook, because that's where she shares all the good stuff. And if you resonate with Kelly, then go check out her Phoenix series, which is a monthly online gathering. The first one is this Sunday, December 12th, so check out all the details in her Facebook post. We both believe it's important in these times to be connected to like-hearted beings who share similar intentions and desires. So if you've been wanting to find your tribe and transform as a group, this one's for you. And more magic is coming your way later this month in another episode of the Final Chance podcast.